It's the daytime, the sun is up. We're recording motherfucking 3 cute boys. Mike's drinking 805s and Kayla's drinking a warm coffee. I got Gatorade and some fucking water and this cool ass guitar.
We're a well-hydrated group.
I know, except for you. I mean, does beer dehydrate you or does it hydrate you?
I think it hydrates you.
Coffee does not hydrate you, Kayla.
No, and this is not warm coffee. It is cold from this morning coffee.
I would call it cold brew.
It is not. It was hot brew, neglected, left in a fucking can for days on the counter. Look, I drink old coffee. I don't care. I'm lazy. Anything in my life that saves me time, money, effort, I'm there for it.
I'm not mad at some cold black coffee.
You
That's how I
like
like my
your
music.
men, like you like your coffee cold and black.
Cold and black, baby. Warm me up.
Like cold to the touch, or like
like dead.
or-
No, like cold to me.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like,
Like
conversation.
emotionally stunted?
cold.
like if you see him at like in public at the grocery store.
They act like they don't know me.
Buying
They give me
lettuce,
the cold
yeah.
black shoulder. And then I'm like,
That's
okay,
really
I'm into this.
gratuitous.
What?
Do we have to mention the color of their shoulder, Chris? This is 2018.
Okay, they're cold African American.
Thank
shoulders.
you.
I feel better personally.
I feel like this is a more woke garage.
We need to be more inclusive. It's the daylight, and everything can be seen and heard.
It's daytime. I don't think we ever done a podcast in the daytime.
I don't think I've ever seen your faces.
I don't like
really.
it.
It's been pitch black in here every other podcast we've done.
That's true. I'm seeing a lot new things, and
I don't like it.
I don't like what I see.
I gotta say, I'm not a fan.
No.
We're still cute as fuck, though. All you two, really cute. All right,
Dude, you're looking good.
I'm looking good. I'm sober.
The new hat. It's
hat.
Chris has a new hat, and he's, 10, 11 days
I'm
sober?
11 days sober. I gotta say, my eyes are popping.
When was
You-
the
you have a
last
glow.
time you were sober for 11 days straight?
I gotta say, it's honestly probably been since I was 15 or 16.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
All right.
11 days straight, just clean and sober. Just just weed and alcohol mostly, and just little bits of other stuff thrown in once in a while. But it's just it feels good to have nothing except for caffeine. I'm still drinking a lot of caffeine, which feels good, and Gatorade.
What about you, Mikey Nord? When was the last time you were sober? I know you're not right now because you're a fucking asshole, but what's the longest since you've become of drinking age that you've been sober?
Since I've been drinking age, I don't know, probably maybe 2 weeks.
Are we allowed to? Oh, I forgot because you were doing the paramedic thing, or you're going to be
Yeah.
a fire person,
Yeah, that's why we're doing this podcast.
right? It's because you decided that you were going to quit your lifelong goal of helping people and start doing nothing to.
Well,
contribute
I'm
to the
helping
world.
people in a different way.
Keep telling yourself that.
More
buddy.
directly,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah. That's actually something we haven't really talked about and passed over. Mike, when I met you, you were going to become a firefighter, right?
Yes.
Like, that was your plan, and you were going
That
to
was
the
the goal.
JC, you had classes, you had goals, you had aspirations
All
to be a
those
firefighter.
things.
And then I think you went to school one day, and then we picked you up to go to some Mike's in the city, and you were like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm not doing any of my classes this year.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened.
You just
I'm
quit.
proud of you.
Yeah.
Comedians are the only people that are going to be proud of you for quitting on such a great goal.
If you really want to do comedy, I mean, I guess you could do the JC for a while and still do comedy, but like doing this podcast shit and like broadcasting, you're still doing broadcasting classes. Right?
Yeah, so I actually talked to the counselor yesterday, and I'm going back in January,
Great.
and I'm taking some media classes, so
That's
fucking
very boring.
broadcasting and
You don't need a degree to do this. Just if you want. Look, Mike, you should start a podcast. Well, all you need is a couple of microphones and a garage.
that's a good idea.
Get
I
a
should
guys-
couple
we
of
should start a
friends
podcast.
together.
Should
Guys,
we
should
start a
start
podcast?
a podcast.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
We got a great repertoire between the three of us. I really think it would do well. What do you want to
I
call
don't know, I think some of us are good, but there's some dead weight.
Yeah,
We need to cut it off.
like we were discussing earlier, Mike. I think that we know where the pruning needs to be done.
We all know who the best pruner is here, too, though. So
Mike.
I'm more of a pick stuff up kind of guy.
that's right.
We just I think we've discussed it before. We like to pretend that when either Chris or I are not in the room, the other one is telling Mike that the person who's missing is poison to the podcast and needs
Right,
to be
but
replaced.
so really what you guys are saying is that I'm the dead weight to this podcast that needs to be cut. Which, guys, I 100% agree with. I'm not, like, you guys could do great without the songs, without my interruptions.
Oh, do you see the passive aggressive? Do you want me to tune your tiny violin?
No.
Isn't his guitar just a big violin?
Yeah.
Technically, a guitar is just a big violin. Yeah. That's what they say.
Please, can we have ridiculous bumper stickers as part of our merch and just make that one of them?
For your guys' podcast?
Yeah. Guitars are just big violins.
Yeah.
Can we all just agree that I'm dead weight, but keep letting me do the podcast?
Yeah, as long as we can come to terms with that and understand it as a collective.
All right, great.
That's probably better.
I'm fine with accepting the dead weight on my shoulders, you know?
The dead weight of the cold black man
you've
been carrying around.
If you're listening in, please just message me and tell me I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And tell me that I'm dead weight for this podcast.
Piss
and that
on him.
I shouldn't be. Piss on me, beat me.
Beat him. Try it out. Listen, I think that, we've already done this episode and we've already ranked ourselves and it was a fucking disaster. What I think we should do is get a Tinder as a collective. As a podcast, we need a Tinder.
I like
the three
that
of
idea.
us?
You told me that
Three
last
Cute
night.
Boys Tinder.
I like that idea.
And you can slide into our collective DMs and you could fuck all of us. Maybe not at the same time.
Why not? I mean, we got the garage.
Yeah. No, you
got enough space.
We start the Tinder, and if you find us on Tinder, they should get something.
Oh, yeah. If we match with you on Tinder...
And you're like a listener or something.
You better be attractive, because we're not swiping everybody.
Are we
right?
swiping boys and girls?
I think we should be...
Are we bisexual?
Well, I mean, who's our main listener base?
17-year-old boys.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, I think we have a visitor.
No, we don't have a visitor. We
No?
do not have a visitor to this garage.
We don't?
No.
No?
This is not Pee-wee's Playhouse.
That's just a homeless man outside.
That's my father, a.k.a. the homeless man outside. It's not a stretch in either
We are
direction.
in his home.
This is not his
recording a
home.
podcast. This is your dad's house.
Look.
He wrote garbage on the side and put an arrow to where the garbage is. I
No,
don't know
he
if you saw
didn't.
that in a crayon.
No, he didn't. That's been there. Okay, this is the problem with being a millennial, is at some point your parents are old and also poor. And then they just loiter around your garage all the time.
Some millennials move back in with their parents. Some millennials have their parents move back in with them.
I am
It's a circle of life.
Yeah, I'm the second category.
The circle of life.
Mike, when are you moving onto the compound?
Once you give me a place where I can shit and shower.
Really? That's all it takes?
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Oh, great. Okay, we can do that.
I need to shower, too.
Yeah, we need
I
to
need a
fix
place
the
where I can
water.
shower.
Maybe if anyone paid me rent to live here, we could afford to fix the water by now.
Oh, so there's no water in this house.
I've been so thirsty for so long.
Oh my god. So for anyone who doesn't know, we have like a janky place we live in Sonoma County that just has a lot of buildings on it and a lot of comedians live here and it's like a comedian commune. And my kids live here too and they're growing up to be Pauly Shores. And anybody can come live on the comedy commune if you have $400 in your pocket and want to help me fix my water. That's all it takes.
Yeah. No, if you set up a place with a place I can
Would
shit.
you live in a converted school bus?
Is
That
there,
has a bathroom.
That
Is there a place I can shit?
Yeah, would you shit in a composting toilet?
What's a composting toilet?
That's a
No,
deal
no,
breaker
no, no,
for
no,
me.
no,
I
no,
would not
no,
shit in a
because you're a
composting
fucking
toilet.
pussy. No, a composting toilet, it's like it has it's a whole mechanism
Okay.
where you shit in it, and it's like self-contained, and then like a couple times a month you like take the compost that it makes out of your shit and you go toss it in the garden.
So I have to
Not for
clean.
me.
So I have to clean out the shit.
but it's not shit anymore. It's compost.
It's still shit.
It's dirt.
All right.
What? So you shit in dirt.
It
in a
turns into
bucket.
dirt.
Is it
That's
a
what do you
bucket?
think animals do?
Do I have to deal with the smell of shit?
No, it's completely odorless.
I doubt that.
If I don't have to deal with the smell of shit,
Like your bus is not gonna smell like shit at all times, unless you're just shitting in it, and unless you're like a bad cat shitting in corners of the bus. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
gonna smell like
then
shit.
for sure.
It's a good cat, if you ask me.
If I don't have to smell shit, then yeah, for sure.
Okay, great. So we'll bring the school bus here. We'll set it up.
Mikey can live in that.
Yeah.
Do I still get the house? Live in the house
You
with
can
you.
still live in the house as long as you're continue being a good boyfriend. If you start being a bad boyfriend and shitting in the corners, you have to go live in the shit bus.
Well, you've tried to get me
No,
to
it's the shit bus. I live in the shit bus.
You have to share the shit bus.
You're trying to get me to shit in things that aren't the toilet, and I'm not okay with that.
That's absolutely untrue.
Every day when I wake up, Kayla's like, where are you going to shit today,
He
Chris?
wakes up to me making direct eye contact, breathing gently on his face, and I'm like, where do you want to shit?
On my chest, of course.
I have an idea of
Mm-hmm.
where you can shit today. And he's like, not this again.
Yeah.
I don't think, did the listeners even know that we live together or that we are dating?
I think they can
Probably
put
by
two
the
and two
passive
together.
aggressive arguing on every podcast episode.
But Kel, I think you briefly touched on it, but I think we need to get deep into it. your aggressive shit kink. You're really into getting shit on.
No, but I will. This is the thing. I don't have a shit kink. However, I do have a really big problem with, and I've gotten over it mostly, but I used to be terrified of people knowing that I ever used the bathroom. Like, legitimately. It was a phobia I had. Like, one time I went to West Virginia.
You used the bathroom?
Yes. Look, I've grown as a person. Yes, I use the bathroom. Okay, when I was a kid, I went to West Virginia for 4 weeks, and I tried not to shit or piss for 4 weeks while in West Virginia, so nobody would know. None of my extended family would know that I used the bathroom. I don't know what I thought in my head, that people just assumed I was an android, or I don't understand. But it just led to me pissing.
I'm a pretty lady.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened. I'm curious to know what happened to me in my life where I thought that was necessary. But I tried not to pee, and I would just ended up pissing the bed at the age of, like, 9.
I would like to get a psychologist in here and really get into that, on what it was about you that made you not want to people know that you go to the bathroom.
I also didn't like people knowing that I ate or looking at me eating, so I would, like, hide when I ate or, like, put my hand over my face. I remember, like, I was, I think, 4, and we lived on a houseboat, and my dad would have the creepiest people over, and the bathroom was downstairs, and we were on the loft, and I would take a cup and pee in the cup on the deck so that nobody in the house knew I was peeing.
I've done that. I've lived with people I didn't want to talk to a lot, but instead of getting out and going to the bathroom and having to make conversation, I would pee in cups, and then when they left, I'd go pour the cups into the toilet, or maybe into the shower, or maybe into their drawers or something like that.
In their drawers.
Yeah,
in
if
corners.
I really didn't like them or something.
Yeah, Project Grad, I got like a tea kettle, like, that you can take to college with you, and I was not going to college, so I just kept it under my bed like a chamber pot, and I would pee in it if there were people in the house I didn't want to have to deal with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that could come from just having people around that you didn't feel safe being around.
Probably.
Growing up, like creepy people, of you not wanting them to know that you're alone in the bathroom.
It's really, I have no clue. But
I have the opposite problem. I can
love-
only shit and eat while I'm...
Well, people are making direct eye contact with
Yeah,
you.
someone's in the room.
I care too much about other people knowing about my bodily functions.
Yeah.
You want them to know?
I announce them.
Speaking
Someone
of which,
needs to be sitting on my lap when I'm taking a shit, or it just won't come out.
That's great.
Well,
Just that extra weight pushing it down.
my son keeps trying to go in the bathroom with you.
Yeah, I so many times I told people I need to go to the bathroom, and only with Kayla's son Mags do I get the answer, "Can I watch?"
Yeah, always.
It's the funniest thing in the world.
Watch?
Can I watch? I'm like, no, but there might be something. He might be trying to learn how to go to the bathroom. Like
I think he also feels like it's a bonding thing. Like, let's go in the bathroom together.
I think medievally and kind of evolution-wise, it kind of is. You know, like
I remember
men and boys shit together.
Yeah, reading
and
about
that's what makes you a man.
in World War II, they would just take buckets out to the field, and everyone would just sit in a big circle and like talk about their day and do their shitting. It's a thing, you know. I guess. So
I guess.
I only got over this problem of people not knowing because I worked with the very elderly and demented when I was 18, and I realized, like, hey, we're all gonna fucking die. And
elderly and demented, like they liked weird shit.
they had dementia, like they didn't know who they were anymore.
Just demented old people.
They were demented, like they didn't
Like
know.
killing squirrels.
Yeah, no,
Slow.
literally. There was one lady that would always eat her lipstick. Like, I'd find her just eating her lipstick in a corner. They didn't know who they were. And they'd wander around. One lady always saw demons, like, constantly, and she'd
Do you
wander
think
the
she
halls.
sees things that aren't there, or do you think she sees
You
things
know
that
what?
are there?
I've
that we
always
don't see?
wondered
Yeah,
that.
seeing shit that we
See,
don't see.
this is the thing.
I
I've
believe
always
that.
wondered that because I was there when she was dying, and when I was giving her morphine when she was passing away, and she was looking at me and she's like, "You are surrounded by demons," and I was like, "Dope." And it freaked me out for the longest time because I was like 18, and it messed me up because I was like, "What does that mean for me?"
I can see him.
There's some John Constantine shit.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And she was also just a crazy, like, old Christian Swedish woman, and I was like, you know what, I don't know, dude. It's possible.
Oh, the Swedes? Oh, if it's a Swede, disregard.
Disregard it.
Disregard.
They're just crazy.
Yeah, because the Swedes, they're the worst.
The best part was we
They
had this
believe in
old
weird
dude.
shit.
Yeah, well, they try and, like, it's so fucked up what they do to old people. They put him in a dementia ward, and they make it look like an old-timey place. Like, it's like Disneyland for old demented fucking people, and, like,
Long lines.
yeah, it's we had
A
this
lot of
one
screaming
dude.
kids.
Yeah, we had this old black dude named George, and we would give him his inhaler, and it was a big, like, it looked like a big bong, and he'd sit there and he'd cross his legs and he'd like puff on it, and he'd be like, well, this is all right. And I always felt like he
real cool.
yeah, I always
Man.
felt like he thought he was in a jazz club or something, like he was going back to his youth. And
that's
this old,
cool.
yeah, they'd just wander around. And they'd be like, "My father built this town." They'd be in like the recreated town in the dimension where they're like, "My dad built this town." And I was like, "That's fucking awesome, dude."
Fuck yeah, dude. I hope I get demented when I get old. If I get old.
Yeah.
Mike, do you think you're gonna get old? Do you think you're gonna get real old?
No, I'm gonna stay this age forever.
Or do you think you're gonna die
Yeah,
young?
I mean, if you die, you will.
Yeah.
You're gonna be young forever. Young
Do
and
you
beautiful
ever-
No,
forever,
like-
Mike.
Ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to be an old person. Like
Yeah.
I didn't want to be middle. I didn't want to be 20. I didn't want to be 30. I didn't want to be 40. I just wanted to skip right to like 74.
Because that's when your life is made. You're
Yeah,
not
I'm
doing
just sitting-
shit.
I'm
But
on a
what
rocking
can
chair.
You do? Unless you've taken really good care of yourself, you can't really
Yeah,
do
we
a
know
lot.
you're not
I
gonna
don't
do it a
need
lot.
to do a lot. I'm just on a rocking chair watching my grandkids.
Okay.
Fucking someone brings me
Fucking
meals.
someone.
You're watching your grandkids fucking someone?
Dude, hopefully.
That's
Just sitting with
that's
your
the life.
binoculars, just looking in their windows. Grandpa's out in the yard again, Mom. I know, but it's all he has to live for.
He's got his grandpa's dick. I like to
Grandpa's
see it.
jerking his old raisin dick in the yard again.
Dude.
Oh, honey, it's nothing we haven't all seen.
That's the
Dad,
kind of
put your
family
dick
I want
away.
to make. Everyone has seen my wrinkly dick.
Oh my
When
god.
you're old, you can do whatever you want and get away with it. That's what's appealing
Oh,
about
yeah.
it to me. Do I
Yeah.
think I'm going to be old? I don't know. I have no idea.
When do you think you're gonna like?
When
You're shooting for an age. What's your goal age?
You know, honestly, I take a lot of risks. I live a risky lifestyle,
Do
more
you?
or less. You know,
You're just a house cat that gets high a lot.
okay, that's fair. That's more than fair. House cats
so
get
pissed
high.
right now.
Almost hurtful.
I know.
It's so fair. It's
Incredibly
it's
fair.
incredibly balanced and fair.
Oh my god. I'm sure you're very risky. I'm sure your life is all like risky business.
Sliding around in my underwear.
Yeah.
No, but you know, if I lived until I was like, if I do something worthy of my life, I won't be mad when I die. I don't care how young I am. If I do something like that, I feel is like that I feel I've provided something good to the world, such as this podcast, Three Cute Boys.
Well, don't die yet.
Are you there yet? Like,
So far, I think I've done
Oh
a
wait,
pretty
I
good job.
forgot. I always forget because I only see you in a comedy context or in the house that you climb very tall trees and you do have a very risky life.
Mhm. And every time I do that, like I think about my life of like if I did die. Every time I get on a plane, I think like I'm putting my life like up in the hands of somebody else, and I could totally die doing this. And if I did, how would I feel? Honestly, like I would just move on. I would hope that what I did so far would be worthy of a life. You know, I just
would
want to make
just
my
move
life
on?
worthy. I think life is precious, and I want to try to make the most of every day. But I also just like I'd be okay with like as long as I did something good with my life, like 35, 40.
Ugh, I feel like lazy people just want to die. Like I'm so lazy and I want
Is
to
it
die all
lazy?
the time.
It might be out of
because it's like
laziness,
so
yeah.
much work to live. You know, to live a good life. Like you can live a shitty bad life and that's fairly easy. But like to live a good life, it usually requires like gumption and you know
That's true. It's work.
it's work.
Yeah.
And it's work every day to live and to be present in your life.
And I would love
I don't
to.
think that's laziness. I think that's depression.
It could be depression too.
That could be depression.
But
Yeah.
I also want to have those things and have grandkids and watch them fuck people and you know and,
Yeah.
and
Fuck
sit in a
people,
rocking
fuck
chair.
themselves,
Yeah.
the whole thing.
I want to watch my grandkids masturbate. I'm just like every other person in the world.
It's not a sexual thing. It's out of a happiness thing, like watching people grow.
It's shared joy.
Just knowing that you made that and now it's pleasuring itself.
Yeah.
That's so. Do you know
That's
what?
that's
It's kind of like a Tamagotchi, you know?
What? Okay.
It's exactly like
Your
a Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi's jerked it. Is that I missed out on that fucking level of Tamagotchi?
It is new model.
I remember
Tamagotchi
when the
2.0.
first-
They jerk
When
off.
the first Tamagotchi came out, I was obsessed with it, and I carried it around. And if it ever died, I was like, "Why?"
Could you bring it back to life? I don't know.
Yeah,
about
you would
Tamagotchis.
regen it. You don't know about Tamagotchis?
No, I don't.
So it was like a little pocket animal. It was like digital, and you kept it in your pocket. You have to feed it and water it, and like it,
Just with buttons and
yeah,
stuff.
and you would have to like you would look at its meter and it might be sad and it would be frowning, and then it would turn into a different animal if it was happy. It kept like growing up, but then if you were neglecting it, you would look at it and its whole enclosure would just be filled with like pixelated shits because you hadn't been cleaning its cage. Do you remember
Wow.
that?
Yeah, I didn't have one, but my sister had one.
So I think it's like a good thing, like if a kid wanted a pet, be like, I'm gonna get you a Tamagotchi
That's why
first and
they
see if you can
invented
pick up
it.
that shit and feed it and take care of it, and then we'll get you a real pet.
They invented it in Japan because nobody really could have pets there because the population density is so
And
insane.
they'd eat them all.
Did you guys ever have like shitty childhood pets?
A shitty pet? Like, we had this dog, Snappy, who was real shitty. Like,
Well,
his
its
spine...
name
Just the
is
name
fucking
Snappy.
terrible.
Snappy, his spine stuck out of his... He was a wiener dog. His spine
Ew.
stuck out of its back. It had back issues, and he would just yelp and bark and chase things, and
He
it was really
probably
aggressive.
in pain all the time.
But I also love Snappy. He lives on in my passwords. I should not say that. But, but yeah, he lives on in my passwords forever.
My password is just my address.
So, oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Wow.
you got numbers, you got a... Okay, that's interesting.
A lot of my passwords are my first cat, Sassy, and she was like the greatest cat ever. And she was just morbidly
What's your PIN
obese.
code?
On my card?
Let's all tell our PIN codes and our
You know
social
my
security
PIN
numbers.
Oh, it's straight down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, straight down.
Straight
That's
down the
easy.
middle?
Nice.
Yeah.
Straight down the middle. I like that.
Straight down the middle.
Ridiculous.
I like that.
Yeah, my PIN code is Sassy.
My PIN code is my birthday.
God, we are so retarded.
I don't think we all gave away our PIN codes. That's not a good idea.
So
yeah, but like,
come find us.
who's gonna listen to the podcast, steal my debit card?
I think our demographic is thieves.
Yeah.
I think the people listening to this are thieves and burdens on society and identity
hope.
thieves.
That's who makes this podcast, so I would hope it's our demographic.
So when I was a kid, I think I was like 7. For Christmas, I got a bearded dragon.
Ew. Did you want it?
No,
Yeah, gross.
but I got it anyway.
Sounds like a shitty pet.
Did your
bearded-
parents even know you?
The bearded dragon. We named it Aragon.
Nice.
Jesus
That's a great
Christ.
name for a bearded dragon, though.
I thought so.
Yeah.
But like we would feed it lettuce, and what he would do or she would do,
It was a she?
it was a she.
That's a bad name.
Uh,
You misgendered that dragon.
Yeah, I don't know.
You never
I
know
was
what it
7.
wanted to be. Its genitalia was one thing. You don't know what the bearded dragon preferred to be called.
So we would feed it lettuce, and it would shit in its food. And then it would walk through the shit, getting the shit all over its stomach, and then he would wipe the shit on the glass. Like all over the wall.
I
So
think you
shit.
got a retarded bearded
would
dragon
be
that couldn't live in
everywhere.
the wild.
Yeah.
So this was an asshole. And so I gave it away to a friend of mine.
Valid.
Like
Very valid.
after like probably like 3 years of having him, I gave him one.
That's a bullshit pet.
And then so he had him for a while, and then he realized that the thing was an asshole. And so he gave it away to another friend.
This bearded dragon sucks.
It's like Jumanji.
And then the bearded dragon disappeared
What?
for like 3 months. Came back pregnant.
Whoa.
With another bearded. Wait.
Yeah.
Statistically speaking, the odds of this are
I think your friend
impossible.
fucked the bearded dragon
yeah.
and then put
There's
it in the
no
forest.
way. I'm calling bullshit.
It
Look,
came back pregnant. It gave birth, but like there was nothing in the eggs. I think it fucked like a bluebelly or something. But they can't
It happens.
breed.
That's crazy. I had a gecko one time. As speaking of shitty lizards,
How did it come back to your house? I'm so sorry, but what the fuck are you talking
It didn't
about?
come back to my house. It came out to someone else's house.
Where did it go for 3 months?
I have no idea. Out in the wild.
And then it just came back pregnant?
Yes.
Like a fucking white trash whore?
Yeah, isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah.
It's a shitty pet.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Yes, your gecko.
okay.
Was your gecko a white trash whore?
No, it was just a dumbass. Like they eat crickets, right? And so I got these crickets and I put it in the gecko's cage. I was so excited about my gecko. I forget what his name was, but it was my gecko, and I loved my gecko. It was yellow and black and some white. And I had a heat lamp. I had water for him. I had everything, and I put crickets in there, and he just would not eat crickets. I had 2 crickets in there, and they just lived, and they just
just
kept
lived
jumping
together?
around. They just lived together. They're like, this gecko's supposed to eat us.
The same shit with the bearded dragon. I put a bunch of crickets in there, and I wouldn't eat the crickets.
Mm-hmm.
And so at night, they would fucking keep me up with the chirping.
Maybe they didn't know.
Well, I read online the gecko's supposed to eat crickets, you know, and they told me at the pet store, just give him crickets, and if the gecko's gonna eat the crickets. The gecko died of starvation
No shit.
in my tank with like 16 crickets around it, just
Dude,
jumping around.
Maybe it's like a Gandhi.
Maybe
a
it was
Gandhi
doing a
gecko.
hunger strike. It was a hunger
Yeah.
strike gecko. Maybe it wanted social change that wasn't happening fast enough.
I can just picture little kid you being so stressed out that your gecko that you love will not eat.
Every day I come home from school and I'd expect to see like the crickets gone, and the crickets are still there. They're like multiplying. They like fuck, and then like there's more crickets or something, or people are putting other crickets in there.
You
And then
try
like
and feed him something else?
Yeah, like I gave him some vegetables and some leaves of
Yeah,
some
like
sort.
Maybe he was
greens.
But he's really
depressed.
supposed to eat crickets, and maybe he was depressed. But I gave him a good life, and I loved that gecko. You know, I gave him everything he should have, and then he just sat there and died, like protesting.
This is, I think,
something,
like a
maybe.
really good metaphor for relationships. You know, like you love this gecko, you put it in a cage, you gave it everything you thought it wanted. It was depressed and it killed itself.
That's what happens with all my girlfriends. I put them in cages. I give them crickets. They don't eat the crickets.
And then they fucking
What am I
die.
supposed to do?
Yeah.
I'm giving you love from the heat lamp. Do you feel the heat? That's my love.
This is like this is too close to home. We have to move on now. I'm just a caged gecko.
Do you feel like a caged gecko? Because that's not fair to me or to you.
I feel like a caged gecko.
I really hope that you don't feel that way.
What if that would be the saddest shit ever. What if I got like one of those, they have heat lamps for humans. What if you came home and I was
They have
curled
heat
up?
lamps for humans?
Yeah, for like seasonal defect, or like it's called SAD. It's like seasonal affective disorder.
That is sad.
That's a
And
real
it
thing,
happens
yeah.
in the winter, and you get a SAD lamp, and you put it on in the morning. You like sit in front of the SAD lamp, and it gives you UV rays so that you're not chronically depressed.
The problem with it is they call it a sad lamp. If they called it a
Yeah.
happy lamp, then maybe people will feel good. Like, oh, turn on my sad
I'm
lamp.
gonna bask under my SAD lamp.
No. I would love a heat lamp, though. In the wintertime, just turn on a heat lamp and just bask underneath it. I would literally do that.
I'll
'Cause
probably
you're a
need one of
lizard.
those for that converted bus.
A heat lamp? Oh, for sure. You would need some sort of heat and some sort of insulation in there, too, for when it
sure.
gets cold or hot.
How big is this bus?
It's a big
It's a
bus.
school bus.
I saw pictures of it. It's a converted school bus, and it's a big old school bus.
I'll be down.
It's a
There's,
big
like,
old
rooms?
school bus.
There's like different rooms in there.
How much we talking rent wise?
I'm like $400.
A month?
Yeah,
Can do.
something like that. I think.
If there's a place I can shit.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know the logistics. It's going to depend on how much it costs to get the bus operational.
Well, you can just tow it here.
But I'm not saying like drivable. I'm saying like to make it have a kitchen and make it have a bathroom and like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. I don't think it would be astronomical, and it would be nice to have more people here. I'm really codependent, and I liked having my kids have like 8 to 10 father figures.
If
Just
I'm
kidding.
anything,
I think
it's
that's
a
great.
good father figure.
Just
That's right.
Confusing father figures.
Mike's younger than me, but I feel like he's a father figure to me at the same time.
Yeah?
Yeah, like I want you to be proud of me.
There's a lot going on in this episode.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about whether or not I'm a gecko in a cage.
Did you have any shitty pets?
Oh boy, did I. I had this fucking hamster. It was a dwarf hamster, and I was like, I gotta get this thing. It's so fucking cute. It was a bitch. It bit me every time I put my hand in the cage. And then I convinced my friend, Jesse Porter, to get the exact same hamster because we were like besties. We were ride or die. And I was like, get a hamster like this hamster. And he did. And then somehow, I don't know how, but his parents let the hamster get eaten alive from the inside out by bugs. And I didn't even know
How
that
does
was
that-
possible.
That's not the owner's fault. It had
Yeah,
bugs
like
in it.
worms and shit?
It wasn't worms. It was like ants or something. It was
Whoa.
Ants?
crazy. Yeah.
Ants ate it out from the inside.
Yeah,
It's
like
so
some
hot.
some crazy nonsense. Look, can you turn off your fucking Tinder alerts? We're trying to film a podcast.
I'm trying to get my
Dick
my-
sucked. Trying to
my
get my
dick
dick
wet,
sucked.
dude.
Look, I'm just over here in my cage looking out at you getting your dick sucked by your grandchildren.
And you're starving.
I'm starving for that dick. All right. Anyway, back to my hamster. So this hamster
Yeah.
was a bitch, and I had a parakeet. I talked to my dad. I was the worst kid ever, where I would just grift all of the people in my life into doing things or getting me stuff that I should never have, like a parakeet. And I remember hammering my dad for like the entirety of the day because I woke up one morning and I was like, I need a parakeet. That'll make my life. That'll change everything. I think it was like 7 or 8. I was like, this is a game.
Now I feel like I'm the parakeet that you
Changer.
think is going to change everything.
Look.
I'll be
okay?
your parakeet if you'll be my gecko in a cage.
Is this whole podcast filled with metaphors? What the
Yeah.
fuck?
It is.
It's a
You
metaphor.
guys, if you're just listening to this on the base level,
Well, maybe
You're not gonna
reserve your
understand.
judgment until I tell you what happened to the parakeet, because the parakeet and the hamster ended up living in the same cage together. And
I feel like Mike's the hamster.
oh my god,
I'm the parakeet.
You have problems. Why don't you just be the boyfriend I love?
Why don't you just be the girlfriend I love and don't call yourself a gecko in a cage?
Sometimes I feel that way. But
Really?
it's not your fault. I put myself in a cage.
Despite all my rage.
Yeah. I'm still
Back
just
to
a
this
reference.
hamster.
Yeah, sorry.
It lived
Or
with
the
a parakeet.
parakeet, the fucking bird.
And I didn't realize it, but if you heat up a Teflon pan, like if you put it on the stove and it gets too hot,
Are you torturing this fucking parakeet?
listen to me. This is a public service announcement. It will fill your house with fumes that are toxic to birds. And so I put a pan on to cook lunch, and it got too hot, and it killed the parakeet with the fumes. And then a little while later, the hamster died of being a hamster. I don't know what happened with the hamster. But the hamster at night, it would run on its wheel constantly, just never-endingly. That's when it exercised, and it would just run on this wheel
It was
for
jacked
like
as
8
fuck.
hours.
She's a
It was
super
so
strong
jacked.
hamster.
She was such a bitch. She would come out, like, if you could hold her outside of her cage, she was fine, but in the cage, she was territorial.
Just fucking beefcake
Well,
hamster.
it was a Russian dwarf hamster, so she was probably a spy.
Oh, they're probably fucking swigging Svedka and
Yeah.
whatever.
But I had no follow-through as a kid. I just would put the hamster in my mom's room when it got annoying.
I can't stop thinking about the bugs eating out that animal.
They ate it from the inside out alive.
Neither can I. I mean, that's so
What
fucking
did they
hot.
start? Like, did,
But you
yeah,
know
did
what?
they
This
start?
is
Did
the
they
thing.
crawl out of the butthole once they were done with everything and then just eat the rest?
I'm
Like,
not
how
sure.
did it
This is
happen?
my
Did they eat through
hunch.
the skin, or did they find an orifice themselves?
My friend, his parents were complete assholes, and he was like emotionally sensitive, and I thought this hamster would like enrich his life. And so I helped orchestrate him getting this hamster, but his parents hated it, and they hated me because all parents hate me. And I've always wondered if they just told him that's what happened to the hamster and got rid of it, because there was no corroborating evidence, and that doesn't make any sense because I'm fairly sure ants don't eat hamsters alive.
Did you do a autopsy?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like he
There's
just
no body.
no.
There's
but-
no evidence.
You
No.
didn't take your kitchen knife and
I would
split
have.
them right open?
See if there's any bugs eating it out from the inside. Oh my god!
You
dude.
can-
Stop
So-
trying to
so
make me so
hot, dude.
horny!
No.
Yeah, it's so horny thinking about those bugs just
Yeah.
eating out that wet.
Did you
meat
guys
from
have
the
parents that
inside.
were like really scientifically intense and like made you autopsy animals when you were little?
No, because those
No.
are called serial
Psychopaths.
killers.
When we lived on a farm, a chicken died, and I was really concerned about why it had died, and which I understand now because my daughter is obsessed with being a doctor and she's really into it. Yeah, and so my mom made me autopsy this chicken with her to figure out, like, to determine cause of death.
Okay.
Is that creepy? I think it's scientific.
No, it's creepy, and I think she might
God damn it.
kill people.
She might kill again.
She might kill again.
Fuck.
Anyway, guys, this has been 3 Cute Boys. We're going to wrap it up.
Wrapping it up.
Check us out on Instagram at 3 Cute Boys Podcast.
Check
Is there
us out on-
underscores?
No underscores, straight up, baby.
Yeah, you can Google us, but be careful. You might find a lot
No,
of gay
we're
porn.
the number one now.
Are we?
If
Yeah.
you scroll though, you will find gay porn. It's kind of a perk.
It's a double whammy.
Yeah.
Listen
Best
to
of both
You can
worlds.
us.
see some double whaming going on.
Yeah, listen to us while you watch dudes fuck each other. And you can find us on Tinder.
Well, yeah, we're going to make a Tinder.
Very soon. We might make a Tinder now.
Swipe us, bitch.
Might as well.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Great.
Fucking thank you. I love you.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. We talked about pets that are no longer with us, but we always have this cast to make some more memories together. Me, you, Kayla, Mike, and all our listeners. Thank you, guys.